in 2093 or something like that, and I was
Oh.
talking about when the shift occurred, and the shift was much more an attitudinal shift, more in terms of stuff like generosity
Yeah,
and
okay,
compassion.
values and
If this
okay.
happened back, otherwise the world probably would not have continued. But the fact that this big shift happened back in the 2010 2020 era.
Okay, so,
So
you went
so,
forward and then
so
looked backwards.
exactly.
That's an interesting.
Yeah, but
Very
it was
interesting.
more. It wasn't so much, and what we're talking about here fits in too.
Mm-hmm.
But it was more in terms of personal, attitudinal things like self, being too caught up with my own stuff, and generosity
Mm-hmm.
and compassion are really, real good. I mean, those are different kind of soils.
Right.
So,
Fertile ground
grow
for
stuff.
civilization
Yeah.
to grow from.
yeah,
Right.
so it
Well,
might
now
be-
that there's no middle class, or it's being destroyed, and it's not the poor or something, or the progressive people against the system, it's all of us against the 1% at the top that has everything. It's not the middle class trying to figure it out. The middle class is disappearing, and so now it's all of us against a few of them, and so
Yeah.
people can realize maybe we are in this all together. Maybe we should share.
and maybe maybe even not just talking about that upper 1%, but sometimes I say that think about the upper 10%.
Yeah.
Is-
Yeah, the corporation.
that hey, you guys aren't the bad guys, but in large everybody's self-interest is based on, hey, we're gonna have to touch those who've got it in order to not just the middle class, but like you mentioned, lower class. But hey, we better learn a way of kind of passing this stuff back around rather than passing it all up.
Because they profited from good schools and good roads and bridges and infrastructure and internet and stuff.
Absolutely,
That's
and to do it wisely, like you were talking about all the concrete in Los Angeles. How are we going to do this wisely? And increasing more cars isn't going to do it either, because there's your oil issue, there's your crowded issue.
Then let's talk about public transit, because it reduces traffic and saves more money than it costs.
Oh, yes. Oh, that's